This workshop is designed to help you strengthen your sentence structure and master APA citation techniques. This workshop entitled Practical Approaches to Sharpen Academic Writing Skills is extremely timely and is relevant to you as English language learners. And we have with us today our distinguished guest speakers, Dr. Jeba Kumari and Dr. Muhammad Izzat from UiTM. A warm welcome to both of you. I understand it's your birthday today, Dr. Muhammad Izzat. Happy birthday to you. And I hope you have a great day today. Okay. Both Dr. Jeba Kumari and Dr. Muhammad Izzat have an impressive background with years of experience in both teaching, research, and publications. And we are so lucky today to have them share their insights on academic writing with us. Before we begin, just a little housekeeping. If you have any questions, you may type in the chat box or you may ask at the end of the session. With that, we will begin our session today. And over to you, Dr. Jeba.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Kulwan. It's nice to see you on this platform. A very good afternoon to everyone present today. Before I start, I would just like to share a few thoughts. It's nice being here with Dr. Kulwan here because Dr. Kulwan and I, we had a nice educational journey together. We did our diploma, our first degree, master's, and also PhD together. It's nice to be with you, Kulwan, again. All right. And to everyone present here, I hope you can hear me clearly. I see there are around 29 participants here on board. All right. And I think before I share, I would like to enlighten you. This topic is very important for us undergraduates. I think academic writing is something that this academic writing skill is very important, not only just for not only just for just to be in the university, pass, and then you get a good CGPA and go. No, it doesn't end there, because when we face the real world, we still have to go into this writing reports, and also sometimes we have to write proposals and all that. So I think this is a good topic for everyone. All right, let me share my slides. Just give me a minute. All right. I think all of you can see the slides. I will start with this topic today. We are going to discuss is on practical approaches to sharpen academic writing skills for language learners. All right. And me and Dr. Izzat, we will be speaking on different aspects. I'll do the introduction, and Dr. Muhammad will continue from after I finish my introduction on what is academic writing, and then I'll share with you a lot of info on that. And then Dr. Izzat will come to the APA, summary, paraphrasing, and synthesizing. All right. Okay, let's start with the first. Now, what is academic writing? Now, all of us, we wonder, academic writing is something that we must come, do very well, and get a good mark and leave the university with a good 4 flat, right? Doesn't end there. Academic writing is actually, let me just explain to you what is it. It's a formal style of writing used in universities and research institutions to communicate ideas, information, and research to the academic community. So academic community means we are the academic community, all right? So this is a formal style of writing, all right? It is structured, all right? All right, it's structured and evidence-based, and it aims at presenting arguments clearly and support them with reliable sources. Now, the word reliable sources is very, very important. We'll go into that later, all right? And academic writing includes essays, reports, research papers, literature reviews, and more. Okay. Sorry, Now, what is academic writing characterized by? Now, we need a clear structure here, right? Okay, all of us know that we need, for a good academic writing, we need an introduction, body, and conclusion. And then also we need to use the formal tone and language. We don't want to use any informal tone. And then use of evidence and citation. That will complete the academic writing. Now, this academic writing is important because it's essential for academic success. All right, it's very important for academic success, whereby academic writing is the primary way you will be accessed at university. It helps you to demonstrate your understanding of the subject and your ability to think carefully. So when we are embarked in this academic writing journey, now of course the lecturers will be giving us a lot of help, and they make you understand and all that. But by doing all these things, you'll be able to understand the subject well, and also you're able to think critically. Especially like I'm teaching in the law faculty. Okay, we have this paper especially for our students. So they, in this part of the code, which is academic writing code, students are able to write, and also they're able to think critically, which will be very it will help when they become lawyers one day. All right. Now it develops critical thinking. Now, writing academically encourages you to analyze. You will analyze, evaluate, and synthesize information, helping you build strong arguments and informed opinions. So that means it's indirectly helping you to develop critical thinking. And then also it helps builds communication skills. Learning to write clearly, okay, and persuasively prepares you to communicate complex ideas effectively, a skill valued in both academic and professional settings. In this kind of settings, you're able to build good communication skills. Now, it also prepares you for future careers. Now, you'll be wondering, what is this preparing for future careers? Maybe we just finish with the university, then we just leave it aside. No. Actually, when I'm with my students, I always tell them, when they buy these books on academic writing, actually there is a book that prepares you for academic writing. I told them, don't go and sell it or throw it away. Keep it for you. Keep it for yourself, because it will help you in the future. So many professions require strong writing skills for reports, proposals, and communication. Now, you may wonder what kind of profession. Of course, if you're in the education field, if you're a lawyer, no, you have to. This thing will be it prepares you very well. Even when even a doctor, you have to do reports and all that. Okay, mastering academic writing now gives you an advantage in the workplace. You see, in the future, in your workplace, this will be a very, very important skill, because it prepares you well. All right. Then you go to promotes intellectual integrity. Now, academic writing teaches you to properly reference sources, helping you avoid plagiarism and uphold ethical standards. Now, we don't want to copy other people's work. And even if we copy other people's work, we are going to, what do you call that? We need to address them, that this is their work. So that's when when we are doing citations, and then we are not copying wholly. We are trying to paraphrase and all that. So in a way, it also makes you, it helps you to promote intellectual integrity. Then it comes to supports personal growth. Writing helps you to organize your thoughts, right? It will teach you, okay, organize it well, improve memory, and build confidence in expressing your ideas. So this is also very, very important. Now, next, let's look at the other part. All right, the other part of what do you call that? The key characteristic of academic writing. Now, the characteristic is you must have a logical flow, right? Like introduction, then you come to body, and then the conclusion. And then it must be thesis-driven, clear central argument in the introduction. All right, I'm talking about the write-up itself. At the same time, transition. Now, connecting ideas using transitional signals is very important. And then it must be evidence-based arguments. All right, it's important that all of it are evidence-based arguments. Now, supports claims, and then another thing is relies on credible sources. So we take from credible sources, articles, newspaper articles, and then peer-reviewed articles, books, and all that. And then supports claim with data, examples, or research. So all the claims are supported by all these data, examples, research, and all. And then critical analysis evaluates strength, weaknesses of existing studies. So these are the key characteristics of academic writing. Now, let's go to the types of, what do you call that? We go to the types of academic writing, all right? Now, you will know it's one of it is descriptive. Okay, descriptive, describe, okay? The instruction is to identify, define, report. All right, so descriptive. And then you have analytical. Analytical is more on compare and contrast ideas. You analyze, relate, and then you examine. All right, just giving you examples, okay? And then persuasive. Persuasive, you argue a position, and then you're trying to persuade. Your essays and thesis statement, you persuade and evaluate, discuss, and you just justify. And then you come to critical. Critical means like you access multiple viewpoints, critics, instructions like debate, critique, evaluate, So these are the types of academic writing. And then now, I did discuss with Dr. Pulwan, UIA. You all are looking at 5 articles, all right? And then, of course, these are the things that in academic writing, we look at 5 articles. And today, I'm just going to discuss with you, what do you call that? I will try to give you some more explanation on for that. Just hold on, let me share the slides. Okay, now let's look at the basic essay structure, right? Look at the basic essay structure. Now, do you still remember how to write an essay? Now, are you familiar with these words? Thesis statement, topic sentence, supporting details, and conclusion. I'm sure all of you know this because we have been studying this over the semesters and all that, right?
Dr. Jeba, sorry, are you sharing?
Yeah.
No, we can't see it on screen.
Okay, let me just try again.
Yeah, it's okay now.
And can you see Kulwan? Can?
Yes.
All right. So now, once again, I go back to the first slide. Are you familiar with these words? All right. These words are
What's it, Jabba? I'm sorry. I think you unmuted yourself. You muted yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Okay. Now, are you familiar with these words? Thesis statement, topic sentence, supporting details, and conclusion. All right. Now, these are the familiar words involved in academic writing. All right. Now, as you can see, this is the, what do you call that? The introduction, all right? And then you orientate the reader, identify the focus, outline the scope, and state the thesis. So this is the introduction part, okay? Introduction, a basic essay consists of 3 main points: introduction, body, and conclusion. Then in the body, you have topic sentence 1, which you have taken from the thesis statement, all right? And then you write your supporting details and your concluding sentence. Of course, in between, you'll be slotting in your what do you call that, your citations and all that, all right? So after that, you go to the second, third, okay? And then you follow this system, and then you write the conclusion. Conclusion, you have to restate back your thesis statement and summarize your argument. What is your stand on the topic? So this is the main part of it. Okay. Okay. Introduction. Let's go. Now the introduction, the guides the reader. All right. The introduction will guide the reader into the paper by introducing the topic. It should begin with a hook that catches the reader's interest. After getting the reader's attention, the introduction should give some background information on the topic. The ideas within the introduction should be general enough for the reader to understand the main claim and gradually become more specific to lead into the thesis statement. Now, after you write the thesis statement, you should not write any more sentence. So you will end with the 3 points from the thesis statement that you are addressing. Okay. Now, hook, background information, and thesis statement. So this is the area that you're looking into the introduction part. All right. And then, of course, as this is a sample, okay, of the introduction. This is what the extinction of coral reefs, okay? So when you write, you have to get an attention grabber. You see, this sentence starts with a question. How deep is your knowledge about coral reefs? You might concur with the rest and say that you know enough probably from your lessons from National Geography documentaries. After that, you write about the background information of coral reefs. They are the communities of numerous tiny animals. Okay, then you continue writing, and then in between, you will see that you can you give an overview about this topic. Then after that, the last sentence is the thesis statement. Therefore, in my opinion, coral reefs are facing extinction due to several factors, primarily human activities, natural phenomena, and climate change. So that's your introduction. Hope it's clear. And next we go to the attention grabber. Okay, provide a definition. Okay, grab opportunities at the earliest possibility. Ask a question. Have you wondered why? Or quotation. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Benjamin Franklin. Or use statistics like out of every 10 teenagers. Or use facts. According to CORE 2012, 80% of the Malaysian love to. Or also you can use comparison. Leaving things to the last minute bring you bad results, but it can also bring some benefits to you. So after that, you tell a story, okay? She runs towards the light, okay? So this is how the attention grabber comes in. Now, the thesis statement concisely states the main idea or argument of the essay. the thesis statement works as a roadmap for the entire essay, showing the readers what you have to say and which main points you will use to support your ideas. So that is the end of the introduction, the thesis statement. Then we come to the body. Now, the body of the essay supports the main ideas presented in the thesis. Each body paragraph starts with a topic sentence. Now, make sure you are clear about that. And each point is developed by one or more paragraphs and supported with supporting points, specific details. So you can give a point and then you can give an example and then you give another supporting point and then in between you say according to core 2024. No, you can use the citation. These details can include support from research and experiences depending on the assignment. In addition, the author's own analysis and discussion of the topic ties ideas together and draws conclusions that support the thesis. Now, there are three main points of each body paragraph. Okay, all of you make sure in your every paragraph you have this topic sentence, supporting points, and concluding sentence. Right, now, let me give you, you can see a sample of it I'm showing, how a paragraph looks like. You start with the topic sentence here, all right? Topic sentence, but you put a linker there to begin with. The extinction of coral reef is mainly due to human activities. Then all these are all supporting details and example. And then you will end with the concluding sentence, which is thus, therefore, hence, all right? Human activities lead to the extinction of coral reefs. So this is a typical example of a paragraph, okay, at the paragraph level. Now, even conclusion, we have a style of concluding, right? Now, the conclusion brings together all the main points of the essay, right? It refers to the thesis statement. That means you have to restate the thesis statement and leaves readers with a final thought and sense of closure, all right, by resolving any ideas brought up in the essay. It may also address the implication of the argument. In the conclusion, new topics or ideas that were not developed in the paper should not be introduced. So you must be very careful when you write your conclusion, okay? And restate the thesis statement. Students, remember these two. Restate the thesis statement and give a final thought or final comment. Now, a sample of a restate this thesis statement. So in conclusion, it is evident that human activities, natural phenomena, and climate change are the causes of the extinction of coral reefs. The causes and effects of the extinction are manifold. However, if people understand the causes and effects of coral reefs, hopefully they will be more aware. Hence, they will have a chance of survival. And look at the ending. Do not let them disappear forever, as the saying goes. What is lost sometimes can never be found. Now, in writing transition, connecting paragraphs to each other and to the thesis, all right? Let's look at that. The transitions. Now, this is called transitional signals. First, second, third, thirdly, or moreover, and all these things. These transitions can be one or two words or one or two sentences that bring the reader to the next point. So they connect paragraphs, okay? So, okay, now these are the transition words in English. They have emphasis, addition, contrast, and order. Now, emphasis, undoubtedly, unquestionably, obviously, particularly, in particular, especially, clearly. Addition, of course, use moreover, furthermore, in addition. And then contrast, in contrast, whereas, nevertheless. And then you have the order. Order means following. At this time, firstly, secondly, thirdly, all these are transition words in English. I think this is a good table for your. Maybe if you want to take a picture, you can take a picture, or I'll share the slides with Kulwan later on, Dr. Kulwan. Okay, now. So, citations. Okay, we're looking at, if your paper incorporates research on other sources, be sure to give credit to each source using in-text and reference and APA 7, which my colleague Dr. Izzat will be talking to you, right? Now we'll move further. 1 minute. Okay, we go to the next part, that is drafting an essay, right? Drafting an essay. Kulwan, can you see the slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Now, drafting an essay. While reading a student's essay, markers will ask themselves questions such as, does this essay directly address the set task? Does it present a strong supported position? Does it use relevant sources appropriately? Is the expression clear and the style appropriate? Is the essay organized coherently? Is there a clear introduction, body, and conclusion? You can use these questions to reflect on your own writing. So when you address this, okay, then when the markers are marking, they will be saying, they will be looking at all these areas. So you may want to look at this and reflect on your own writing. And then number 1, analyze the question. Very, very important for students. We must analyze the questions. Students' essays are responsive to specific questions. So an essay must address the question directly. Like key concepts, the scope, the topic, and the directive. What you need to do in relation to the content. Either you want to discuss, analyze, define, compare, or evaluate. Now, example topic. Prisoners should be allowed to vote. Now, content terms is, the key concept is voting. You're limiting the terms means the scope that the topic focus on voting among prisoners. Now, directive terms, what you need to do in relation to the content. Here, you are trying to argue and persuade the audience that prisoners should be allowed to vote. You are writing an argumentative essay. And then you define your argument. All right? As you plan and prepare to write the essay, you must consider what are your argument is going to be. This means taking an informed position or point of view on the topic presented in the question, then defining it. All right, you need to define it. Consider the arguments. Like comment sections on social media topics should be abolished because they have abused freedom of speech, used abusive language as a form of cyberbullying, and spread fake news. So these are the topic and the reason. So the comments section in the social media, and the writer argues So this is it's very important to define your argument. And then using evidence and reasoning. To convince your audience of your argument, you must use evidence and reasoning. So evidence and then the reasoning. These are the two important when you're drafting your essay, right? Move on. An essay has three basic components: introduction, body, and conclusion. So it must be coherently written, the essay, right? Following this. And write clearly. An essay that makes good evidence, supported points, will only receive a high grade if it's written clearly. So clarity is produced through careful revision and editing, which can turn to good essay into an excellent one. So when you edit your essay, try to view it with fresh eyes and yourself the following and ask yourself the following question. Have you clearly stated your argument in your introduction? Does the actual structure correspond to the roadmap? Does the thesis set out in your introduction? Have you clearly indicated how your main points support your argument? Have you clearly signposted the transition between each point of your main points for your reader? So these are the things that you must look out overall. All right, as a student, you need to look into this area. And does each paragraph introduce one main idea? Does every sentence in the paragraph support that main idea? And then, of course, you must make sure the paragraph displays relevant evidence and reasoning. And does each paragraph logically follow from one before it? So at the same time, you need to connect your paragraphs well using the signals. Okay, we will not do the practice now, all right? So maybe you want to take that practice here online. Maybe you want to just take a picture of it. Okay, next we go to the paragraphs, parts of a paragraph. And just trying to give you an idea how you do it in the paragraph level, okay? Okay, in the paragraph level, right? The paragraph level, you need to look at this topic sentence, all right? Supporting details and, of course, the concluding sentence, all right? Now, topic sentence. Let's look at the first part. The topic sentence identifies the main idea in the paragraph. Every topic sentence will have a topic and a controlling idea. Now, the topic sentence comes from the thesis statement, right? And so you take that out and then you choose for topic sentence. Choosing a career based on passion can motivate a person to work passionately. So the topic is choosing a career based on passion, and controlling idea is can motivate a person to work passionately. Generally, the topic sentence is placed at the beginning of a paragraph, but the location, the placement may vary according to the individual. All right? Now, write the topic sentence for the following paragraph. Now, just let's look at one. Okay? This one. Write the topic sentence for the following paragraph. Okay? Now, Next, the impact of human activities on marine life is equally alarming. Millions of tons of unfiltered refuse and domestic waste are disposed of indiscriminately in rivers, polluting the water. The polluted water cannot sustain the aquatic life. For example, extensive damage to marine life from the deep water horizon oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico has affected fishing and tourism in that area. Who else but man who destroys our environment? So when you want to write a topic sentence, of course, you put the linker. Next, the impact of human activities on marine life is equally alarming. Okay, so that is the topic sentence. All right. So I think we can move on to the next slide. I'm sure all of us know how to construct a topic sentence. All right. Now, supporting details. Supporting details should be drawn from a variety of sources determined by the assignment guidelines. Right? Since supporting details are taken from a variety of sources, citations are needed. However, not all supporting details are from the source of references. It is also allowed to include the writer's voice. And elaboration, all right? 1 minute. Now, it gives the information about the topic sentence or main idea, elaboration or explanation. You give examples, facts, statistics, evidence. Others analyze it, cause, effect, problems. Also, in the supporting details, you have to do this way. Give information about the topic sentence or main idea, elaboration or explanation. Give examples, facts, statistics. You can come out with evidence or cause and effect. All right. Okay, this is also very important. After you finish the paragraph, you write the concluding sentence. All right. Like you restate the main idea in a slightly different way. Provide a logical conclusion based on the information found in the supporting sentence, and then also use to emphasize the main idea in the reader's mind. That means the top, you must agree with the topic sentence, and then you will say therefore, hence. So many of us tend to forget about concluding sentence, but all these are very important to get good marks. Okay, that your essays, your academic writing is complete. Example. Furthermore, volunteerism is crucial among university students as it broadens their career options. Okay, that's the main idea. So thus, volunteering is very important among university students because it gives opportunities to broaden their careers. So that is the concluding sentence. So have a look at this. All right. Think of it. Need to have a concluding sentence. Okay. And also there must be a cohesion and coherence. So all of your work must have a good, this is stringing the sentence. The ideas all must string together. All right. Okay. That's about paragraph level. Next we go to okay, we come to the last part of the slides, right? Revising and editing and proofreading. I think this is very important for a student or anyone who is involved in writing, that you must revise, edit, and proofread whatever you are writing is very important. All right. Now, understand the difference between revising, editing, and proofreading. Learn how to refine ideas and organization in a what do you call that? In a draft. Practice improving the sentence level. Okay, fluency, very important. And also identify strategies for effective editing and proofreading. All right, your subject, verb, agreement, all that you need to know it very well. All right. Hold on. Bring some. One minute. Let me just go out of this place. Hold on, can you see my slides?
Yes, Jeba.
Okay. Thank you. Now, key steps. How do you do? Revising is the process of improving the content, structure, and ideas of your draft. So evaluate your thesis. Is your argument clear and well supported? Refine ideas. As your points develop, any need for more examples or evidence, you will know as a writer. And then are the ideas organized logically across the paper with the coherence and cohesion? Tone, is your tone appropriate for an academic paper? That means must be very formal and objective. In argumentative writing, claims serve as the backbone of the argument and should be precise, specific, and focused. They provide a clear direction for the entire piece of writing. Okay, word choice. Are your words precise? All right. Conciseness. Eliminate unnecessary words or phrases. Sentence structure. I think this is very important. Simple. The experiment was successful. The experiment was successful, but some data were inconsistent or complex. Although the experiment was successful, the data revealed inconsistencies. Now, sentence fluency. Vary sentence length and structure to create rhythm. Use transition and linking words. Combine shorter sentence to avoid choppiness. Break up overly long sentence to improve readability. I think this is very important. You know, when you want to, what do you call that? You need to remember, don't write long, windy sentences. What to look for? Grammar, punctuation, and spelling errors. Correct formatting, paragraphing, citation, references. Consistent use of tense, voice, and terminology. Proper use of academic conventions, capitalization, italics, etc. And overlooking statement, ensure your revisions support your main argument. All right, this is very important, right? Overlooking the thesis statement, neglecting transition. Weak transition can make ideas seem disconnected. Wordiness, avoid unnecessary repetition or overly complex sentences. So these three things you have to look into. All right. And I think that's about it on how you want to do when you want to do your work, make sure you take breaks, read aloud, okay, use tools. got grammar checkers, and nowadays you have grammar checkers and all that. Have a friend or classmate to review your paper for clarity and flow. In the university, you can do that. You have a peer who can help you. All right. Now, look at the steps here. I think let me share this. Spelling, subject, verb agreement, pronoun agreement. Now, review each word carefully. Make sure you don't have spelling mistake. The more red marks you get, the more your marks won't be so good. All right. So then you make sure you know your subject verb agreement and the pronoun agreement. Okay. Okay. Basically, students who are listening, I think you have to really learn all these concepts in academic writing, and of course, you will do well. All right. And another thing is you need to know the rules of in academic writing, which is very important. All right. And just one. Just a little bit more. Just wanted to share a little bit more with y'all before I move to the next speaker. Okay, this one. I think it's very important. Common challenges. What are the challenges that we face? All right. I challenge, I don't know how to start. Solution, use outlines and mind maps for structure. Challenge 2, my writing sounds informal. Replace contractions and slang. Okay, and challenge 3 will be, I struggle with citations. Okay, with citations, of course, you can look at sites where they help you. There are a lot of internet, a lot of information there which can help you as you struggle through the citation, right? And okay, Kulwan, I think that's all from me. And then I will pass it to my next, the next speaker, Dr. Izzat.
Hi, hello everyone. All right. Wait, yeah, let me share my slides. To share. All right. I hope you can see my slides now, everyone.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Right, so I think I shall start now. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good day, everyone. Yeah. So, before we start, let me introduce myself. I am Muhammad Izzat, Dr. Izzat. I'm a colleague of Dr. Jeva here in Pusat Asasi UITM. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for the past 1 hour, we have been listening to Dr. Jeba talking about academic writing, how to write it, what will be the structure, right? The intro, body, and conclusion. Okay, so that one will be the basics of it, meaning to say that in an academic writing, you should have all those parts, all those structure. Now, in the next maybe 45 minutes or 1 hour, we are going to look at the technical part of it. Yeah. Specifically, I'm going to talk about writing a citation. Writing a citation. Okay. So we are going to take a look at how to write it. Okay, what to write, and basically how it should appear in your academic writing. All right, so first of all, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the basic citation, right? So as a student, if I'm not mistaken, language students, yeah, a lot of you are here, right? In doing your academic work, in doing your academic writing, you must know on how to use citation. I think this would be the main difference between a normal writing with what we call academic writing, because in academic writing, whether you like it or not, you must have citation. All right, you must have citation. Now, my student, yeah, especially my undergrad students, they always ask me, sir, why do we need to learn on how to write citation, how to read it and whatnot? Because nowadays we have a lot of help technology. Yeah, we can use AI, we can use generator, citation generator and whatnot. Yeah, and usually I would tell them, listen, all right, you need to learn the basic before you can go and use all those technology. All right, this is because if you don't learn the basic of citation, all right, what is there, what is needed in your citation, it is afraid that you might be doing or writing the wrong thing. You see, ladies and gentlemen, as what you can see on the screen right now, citation. There are many styles in it, ladies and gentlemen, yeah? I think one of the most famous, and I think you are using it right now, will be APA, the APA style, isn't it? Right? And then we also have a lot of other styles, like for example, the IEEE, Institute of Electronic and Engineering, right? So usually the IEEE citation style is used by our colleagues from the engineering faculty, right? The technical people over there. And we also have this MLA style, yeah, Modern Language Association, all right? Modern Language Association, where they have a bit of a difference between APA and what we call MLA over here. For instance, MLA, they don't use references at the end of their work, but they use work cited. Yeah, you see? And then we also have this, what we call the Chicago manual style. This one also is widely used, but in Malaysia, I think most of us will be using APA style, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, here in Malaysia, we also have one special style. Our colleague from UKM, they have their UKM style over there. So basically what I'm saying over here, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of citation styles out there. And all right, as a student, as an academic, as someone who wants to write academic writing, yeah, who want to produce academic writing, we must learn and know what is the correct citation, all right? Because some journals, they use APA, some journals, they use MLA and things like that, all right? But today, specifically, I will be talking about APA, yeah, APA. All right, moving forward, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, okay. Now, the next topic, the next subtopic that I would like to discuss with you is this one. When to use citation? This is once again another popular question asked by my students, especially the undergrad student. They are learning how to do academic writing. They are learning the citation. All right. So they are quite confused. Do we use citation in every sentence in our academic writing? Every sentences in our paragraph, do we need to use citation? Is that the correct answer? No, that is not the correct answer. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, when we use citation, basically what do? We want to provide what we call credit to the source, right? Credit to the source. Why is that? Because in writing an academic work, academic writing, yeah, we must refer to someone else's works, all right? We cannot just simply think about something and quickly write our opinion over there. That is not academic work, ladies and gentlemen. So when we refer to other people's work, of course, we need to give credit to them. Now, let's learn on how to use this citation. First of all, ladies and gents, when you use citation, you write citation when you paraphrase other people's ideas. Meaning to say that, ladies and gentlemen, let's just say you stumble upon a book, you stumble upon an article, a journal, right? Magazine even, okay? And then when you read it and then you say that, oh, this is rather significant or important to my work. So I want to put it in my work. And of course, you cannot simply take everything 100% and put it in your work, isn't it? You need to paraphrase it. So if you do that, ladies and gentlemen, you put it down using citation. All right. You must have your citation. All right. Is either author prominent or information prominent? We talk about that later. But when you happen to be in this situation, you must use citation. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, directly quote the words of others. Meaning to say that, ladies and gentlemen, you read a maybe article, a book, and you think that the quote, the information is too powerful. You cannot simply change it. You cannot simply put it in other words. You want to quote it as it is. Yeah. So when you use quote, when you take other people's word from their work here, whether it's book, journal, or article, we must also put in our citation. Like for instance, the famous line or speech by let's say maybe Malcolm X, right? I have a dream. For instance, you want to quote that kind of phrase, right? Of course, when you put it down over there, you must put it under the citation because why? It is not from you. You are referring to someone else's work, someone else's idea. Okay. The next one, yeah, when to use citation is that when you refer to data or data sets. This is very important, everybody. People, right, out there, academics, researchers, scientists, they do experiment, they conduct experiment, they conduct survey, they do analysis and whatnot here, and then they get the data, they get numbers, right? So when you stumble upon such information, yeah, data or data sets over here, of course, obviously, you must use citation. You must give credit. Where do you get the number from? Where do you get the percentage from? Okay, you cannot simply put down the number in your work, in your academic writing over there without any citation. Because why? Because it is not you who conduct the experiment, who conduct the survey, who conduct the analysis of the data, who write the findings. No. You're referring to someone else. You must write citation over there. You must give credit. Let's say you read a book by David Beckham, for instance. Yeah. So uh, just a name, David Beckham over there. And then in the book, you want to use some data, some data sets over there, right? Percentage, numbers, and whatnot. All right. So when you put it down in your work, you must cite it. Yeah, you must say Beckham, according to Beckham, 2025. Right? It was found that blah 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 and so on. All right. So you must also do that. Yeah. Now the example is that last week or last 2 weeks, yeah, I read that the number of students who scored straight A's in SPM has increased in Malaysia. All right. The previous year was 3.1%. This year will be 3.7. Is it 3 or 31? I couldn't remember. But the number has increased. So let's just say I would like to use the number, yeah, in my work, the number in my work. So what happened is that I supposed to quote the original author. Where do I get the number from? All right. So that is the meaning of when you refer to data or data set. Okay. Next, reprint or adapted table figure. All right. So basically, when you want to adapt any table, any figure, any even pictures, yeah, you must use citation, give credits. All right. Reprint a long text passage or commercially copyrighted text items. Okay. Just like the previous one, reprint or adapt a table, figure. If you take other people's work, you must give citation. So Basically, what I'm saying here is that when to use citation? When you use other people's work. Work, what does it mean? It can be data, it can be idea, it can be table, it can be figure, it can be anything. As long as it is not from you, then you must do citation. You must put down the original source. Okay, so in your paragraph later, when you are writing, if the idea, the numbers, the percentage is not from you, you write citation. But when you want to do your elaboration, when you want to voice your own opinion based on the maybe data and all right, so that one you don't have to use the citation. So I hope you are clear. All right, I hope you are clear. The common misunderstanding among students would be they think they need to use citation on every sentence in their academic writing. No, yeah. So you don't have to do that. You do that when you use other people's work, other people's idea, table, figure, number, percentage. All right, clear. Oh, if you have any question, just ask away. You can switch on your microphone or you can type it in the chat box. All right, in the chat box. All right, what do we have next, ladies and gentlemen? A bit of a writing quiz. Okay, good. Just to check whether you are still with me or not, yeah, on this Friday afternoon, let's do a little bit of quiz, shall we? I have a one simple question for you. Before we dive into the world of APA, let's try to answer this. What is the latest edition of the APA style that you know of? Can you respond to me by putting down the letter in the chat box, everyone? Is it A, B, C, or D? Let me. B, C. Wow. Some say 7. 7 is not in the option. It's A, B, C, or D. There. Oh, a lot of you are still with me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the response. Okay. Too bad this is an online lecture. If not, I would have given you some chocolates. All right. Now, online chocolates over there. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much. Correct. That is correct. All right. The latest edition of the APA style will be APA 7th. Now, when we are talking about APA, we are talking about APA 7th, everybody. So, in anything that you like to do, yeah, in regards of APA, make sure that you choose APA 7th. Just some heads up, ladies and gentlemen, yeah. Some of my students, they use a citation generator, they use AI and whatnot, yeah. I always tell them that please be careful, check whether the technology that you are using is using the latest APA format, all right? It will be APA 7, okay? Some notes online, yeah, I have seen it before. Some notes, they are still having some information from APA 6, which is not the latest one. Now we are going for APA 7. Even for APA 7, yeah, there are changes from the first time it is published up until today. There are few changes, all right? So it's good if we can always update our knowledge on APA so that we know what we are doing is correct. Or even, like I said before, even if you're using some generator, if you're using some technology, AI and whatnot, yeah, when the outcome comes out, yeah, they generate for you your citation, all right, you can check it because you are in the know. That is the importance of learning the basic, all right? That is the importance of learning the basic. If not, you just clicked it, yeah, outcome your citation, your reference list, all right? And then you do not know whether it is correct or incorrect. Remember, you're supposed to be the QC, quality checker of your own work, ladies and gentlemen, not the technology, not your AI and whatsoever. All right. So please make sure that we are using APA 7th edition. Okay. Now, yes, correct. Today we are going to talk about APA style. Right, so APL style basically uses the author date citation system. So if you have used APA before, you know that the in-text citation, they use the author and date. Those will be the two prominent information that we need to have in our in-text citation. And another thing that is important for APA is that, ladies and gentlemen, APA comes with a reference list. Reference list. Meaning to say that, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to citation, APA style over here, you're not only going to have it within your essay over there, in-text citation, we call it, this one, in-text citation, but you are going to also have the reference list over there, the reference list. So these two make up the APA style. Sometimes students, they only focus on this in-text citation over here, forgetting to take a look at the reference list. Or some students, they totally forget about reference list. They spend time to write their academic essay, academic writing over there, doing some citation, but at the end, they forgot to put down reference list, all right? So please remember, when it comes to APA style, two things. Number one, the in-text citation, means to say that citation within your essay, in the sentences themselves, and at the end of your writing, there will be a reference list. Okay, reference list. So those two would be the requirement for APA style, the basic, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, APA 7th edition, ladies and gentlemen. Now, do you see the two pictures? The top one, the one in what color is that? Tangerine, orange, and the bottom one will be the blue one. All right. So this will be the APA manual, ladies and gentlemen. But please be careful that uh, should you go and refer to any manual publication for APA, you should choose this one instead of this one. Why is that? The blue one is the 6th edition, and the orange one over there will be the 7th edition, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I think the book can be bought here in Malaysia. Last time I checked, it will be about 136. That one will be the full manual. There's also a concise guide for APA 7th edition. However, I found that the price is almost similar. It's about 130, 140. All right. So if you have that, if your library have that, if your university have that, then it's good, ladies and gentlemen, because you can refer to the main source. You see, ladies and gentlemen, it's always a good idea for you to go back to the main source of this APA. All right. Here you see I put down the URL for APA, APA style apa.org. You can go there, ladies and gentlemen. There are a lot of resources over there, free one. But of course, if you want the full one, ladies and gentlemen, it would be you need to pay for it. Yeah, it's not free. It's not free. So, ladies and gentlemen, the presentation that I'm doing now, the slides that I'm having now, ladies and gentlemen, I refer to the publication manual or the websites of APA over here. All right. So APA 7th edition will be the latest edition. All right. For the American Psychological Association. It is published in 2019. And it is ineffective from 2020. All right. So, just to caution you, ladies and gentlemen, if you go online to search for some references on how to use APA, the 7th edition over here, make sure that the notes, the websites, the slides that you found is supposed to be dated starting from 2020. Right? Because if it is older than 2020, let's say 2019, 18, I'm afraid that that one is not 7th edition. Okay? That one is not 7th edition. 2020 and beyond will be okay. All right? I know for matter of fact that online there are a lot of resources to learn APA 7th edition over here. Or even the library's website for universities, in Malaysia. Some of it have very good websites or guidance for the students or even academics to write or to use APA 7th edition. Like our very own UITM over here, we have some guidance from our library, right, on how to use the APA 7th edition. I've also seen University Malaya, and also some other private universities like MSU, they have it. For you guys, IIUM or UIA, I haven't got the time to really check the websites of your library over there, but perhaps there is a web page or guidance for everyone, yeah, at the university, for you to refer to it, yeah. So I guess for us in Malaysia, yeah, basically number one will be this publication manual, and number two, we can refer to our library. All right, we can refer to our library. How best to use this APA 7th edition? Because from my understanding, there are some not to say different, a lot of differences, but it's only a minuscule one. Yeah, differences, especially when it comes to citing names, all right, and things like that. But other than that, the basics will still be the same. All right. So please make sure that you use the correct publication manual, APA 7th edition over there, the orange one, not the blue one, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And this one, this website over here is, I find it very helpful whenever I'm confused with APA. Should I put a full stop? What happen if I don't have any author's name and things like that? So all these questions are answered in the website over there. All right. Good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, author date citation system, that is APA, right? Author and date. All right. In this system, each work used in the paper has two parts in the in-text citation on the corresponding reference list. All right. In-text citation is, there are two types of it, parenthetical or narrative. Parenthetical is when you put down the author and the date in the parenthesis, or some call it as in a bracket. Narrative is when you use the citation as part of the sentence, right? This one is in the parentheses like this one. This one in a narrative, usually our students would like to use words like according to, right? According to Izzat 2025. According to Swales, right? 2001, for instance. So that is what we call narrative. In some notes or in some books, they call parenthetical as information prominent because you put the information first before you put down the author and the date. And narrative, they call it as author prominent. Author prominent meaning to say that they put down the name of the author and the date first before the information, all right? Like according to Izzat, APA 7th is important for students, full stop. So my name appears before the information that I convey. Okay, so that is the differences between parenthetical or narrative. Okay, in parenthetical citation, we use ampersand. Ampersand, this is the symbol of ampersand, everybody. How many of you know this is the name of this symbol? Ampersand over there. Between names for work with two authors and before the last author, when all name must be included, avoid ambiguity. In narrative citation, we always spell out the word and. Okay, so the difference between this one and this one in writing, ladies and gentlemen, when you want to use the word and for parenthetical, we use the symbol of ampersand over here, but as a narrative or part of the sentence, we use the word and over there. Okay. Now, let's go to the details of this one, author and the date, because these will be the two important information that you must cite in your essay, in your academic writing, okay? For APA, these two are very important. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, before we talk about this one, I would also like to express or share some experience with everyone in terms of writing or finding references. Yeah. In finding references, ladies and gentlemen, I always emphasize to my students that you must find references that are credible, right? Credible here means that it is of high quality that can be used for academic work. How do we know it's a credible work here? On the surface, we can take a look at three things. We can take a look at the name, the date, and the source. All right. So author and the name of the author and the date. Why this will be important? Why when we have these two, especially the reference is credible enough for us to use in our work, is that when we can see the name of the author, basically the author is being truthful, the author is being responsible. They put down their names on top of their work so that if anything goes wrong, they know, people know who wrote the article, who wrote the book, then they can contact the person, the author over there. Yeah. So I always tell my student, if you want to find references, you can use the internet, you can search for it, but please make sure that any book, any web page, any websites, any article that you want to use for your academic work, it must have an author, right? The name of the author. The name is supposed to be a real name. Real name means that when we read it, it sounds like a real name. It's not nickname, screen name, or pseudonym. Yeah, you know a pseudonym, right? Sometimes the name comes with numbers, right? Izzat 3710. Izzat 3710. Do you know anybody with the name of Izzat 3710 in real life? No, isn't it? Yeah. So basically, what is that? That's a pseudonym, ladies and gentlemen. So please be careful. Right. Another thing that I always ask my student to be aware of will be the date, ladies and gentlemen. The date. Why date is also important. When they search for information on the internet, they search for references, please make sure that you use the latest references, the latest article, the latest book, the latest web page. Why latest is important? Why? Because if you were to use old references, it is afraid that the information might not be true anymore. The information is wrong, right? Like for instance, if you were to find an article back in 2000, say 5, for instance, in the article it says that the tallest building in the world is the Petronas Twin Tower. Is it true now? The answer is not anymore, isn't it? Yeah, there are other buildings that are taller than our Petronas Twin Tower, but in 2005, it is still true. So if you happen to find an article in 2005 and then you use it in your work, what happens is that you are using outdated information and it is afraid that you are spreading false information. All right, you're spreading false information. We don't want that to happen. So that's why author and date, these are very important. And coincidentally, author and date also is very important for APA 7th edition. All right, so let's go to the author's name, ladies and gentlemen. First up, ladies and gentlemen, in the manual, publication manual by APA says that for in-text citation, you must use the surname or the last name of the author that has surname. What does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? Surname. Basically, surname would be the family name of the author. What is a family name? Family name would be name that is being carried out throughout generation, meaning to say that everyone in the family would have the same name, right? That is what we call surname or family name over there. I always like to use the example of David Beckham because he's a prominent figure and that's the only prominent figure that I could think of whenever I'm teaching. Okay, so David Beckham, that is his name, isn't it? David Beckham. Take a look at his family, all right? His wife adopted the name Beckham, isn't it? Victoria Beckham. And then when they got children, their children also carries the name of Beckham. What is the name of their children? Brooklyn Beckham. What else? Who else? Couldn't remember. Oh, Romeo Beckham, for instance. So the name Beckham over there is what we call the surname or the family name over there. So if you happen to use the work of David Beckham, for instance, when you want to write the in-text citation, which name should you use? Is it David or Beckham? It's supposed to be Beckham over there. That is the surname. That is the family name, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So please make sure that you use the surname of people who have surnames. Who else? What kind of names that have surname or family name? Chinese name, Korean name, they have it, example would be our ex-national badminton player, Lee Chong-wei. Lee Chong-wei. Which one is the family name? The surname over there. All right. Now, for Chinese name or even Korean name, it is not the back or the last name over there. It is supposed to be the first name. All right. Lee. Lee would be the surname. Lee would be the family name over there. All right. Lee. Correct. Correct. So Dimo Jiang says Lee. Correct. Lee Chongwei, the family name or the surname would be Lee over there, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Now, that one will be about the author. All right. Besides individuals, you also can use the name of group, company, or organization. How so? Ladies and gentlemen, for instance, you go on the official websites of Malaysian government, Ministry of Education, for instance. Oops, sorry. Ministry of Education, for instance. Yeah. So you found an interesting information over there. You found an interesting data over there. But there's no individual name over there. There's no name of who wrote the article, who wrote on the web page. So what you can do is you can use the name of Ministry of Education. All right. You can use the name of the organization. Another example would be the WWF, World Wildlife Foundation, right? You go on the internet, you go to their website, and then you happen to see that, oh, this information is important to you. So you want to use it. You search for the name of the author. There's none. What you can do, you can use the name of the organization, all right? The World Wildlife Foundation, WWF, the one with the panda logo over there, correct? Okay, good. Okay, so that is about the author, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you are clear with that. Next one will be the date. Yeah, like I said before, for APA in-text citation, what's important would be the date of the publication. Usually we put down the year, right? We put down the year, yeah, in our in-text citation. So usually if it's in a parenthesis, we have the name first, right, separated by comma, and then the date over there. All right. So this is the name, this is the date. All right. So basically, that one will be the author and date system. Okay. So moving forward, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's take a look at some examples and some differences. Yeah. Like for instance, number one, author type, one author. If you have one author, you can use Luna 2020, or if it's in a narrative citation, you can see Luna 2020 over here. So usually, like I said before, students, they love to use the phrase according to Luna 2020, and then the information. If you use parenthetical citation, information comes first, only at the end. Yeah, in the parentheses, you put down Luna 2020, a full stop over there. Two authors. How are you going to do it? In a parenthetical citation, you use the ampersand symbol, but for narrative citation, you use the word and, A-N-D, and over there. Now, this would be one of the significant difference between APS 7 and 6, right? Three or more authors now, you quickly turn them to Martin et al, right? Only the first author's name appear, the rest will become et al, all right? A Latin word means and others. So all the other authors will become et al over here, all right? Et al. Okay, now group author with abbreviation like World Wildlife Foundation, WWF, or over here the example will be National Institute of Mental Health, NIMH. How are we going to write it? For the first citation, you put it in full. National Institute of Mental Health, NIMH 2020. The same goes to narrative citation over here. But for the subsequent citation, okay, it's okay for you to use the abbreviation. It's okay for you to use the abbreviation. Okay, group author without abbreviation, it will stay the same, like Stanford University. All right, so there's no SU. When you put down SU, people do not know what is it. Yeah, so you just use Stanford University. So for this abbreviation name over here, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure for the first time you introduce it first. What is NIMH? What is WWF? All right. And after that, you can use the abbreviation over there. Okay. So that is how you write the in-text citation for the name of the author as well as the date. Now, ladies and gentlemen, moving forward, let's take a look at how we're going to write it down, ladies and gentlemen. Here on my slides, I have some samples of the popular references like books, like maybe journal article, all right? The rest of it, like I said before, you may go to APA websites. You may take a look at the short notes that they provide for everyone. Okay, so it's always a good idea to always go back to the main reference. So for print and electronic books, I know that when you're doing your thesis, you're doing your academic writing, maybe one of the references will be books. Yeah. So for books, for in-text citation, not much of a difference. You just put down the name of the author and then the date, name and date. Okay, name and date. Easy, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. But for what we call the references, the end text citation over here, of course, you need to put down the name in full. Yeah. This one is still how it appears in the in-text citation. If in the in-text citation says Sapolsky or Sapolsky, all right, the references also is supposed to have the name Sapolsky. It cannot be the other way around. Why is that? Because people use your citation to do referencing. Okay, let's just say they read your work and then they are interested to read more about Sapolsky. They say that, this Sapolsky work is very interesting, very useful to my own work. I need to know what kind of work Sapolsky has published. So they go to your reference list over there. They will see, oh, Sapolsky, and then they see over here, then they know that, oh, it's a book, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So for book, ladies and gentlemen, you have the name, right? And then this one will be the first letter of the first name, the middle name, right? RM. The name is supposed to be RM Sapolsky, but when you write it down in APA, you use the surname or the last name first, and then separated by comma, and then the letter for each of the name. The first one is R. The second name, or the middle name would be M. Maybe this person's name would be uh, what is R? I couldn't think of any name. Rahul. Rahul. M would be Mahmoud, and then Sapolsky. Oh, what an odd name, isn't it? But that is the real name. But when people cite his work, yeah, then it will be Sapolsky RM. And then for book, we just put down the year of publication. This one, Behave the Biology of Human at Our Best and Worst. That one is what, ladies and gentlemen? That one will be the title. This one will be the publisher. That's it. In the past, for APA 6, for book, you also need to put down the place of publication. So after this one, you put down Kuala Lumpur, you put down Massachusetts, you put down New York and things like that. But for 7, they don't need that anymore. Only the name of the, what we call, publisher. For electronic book, e-book, ladies and gentlemen, very much the same. You have the name, you have the date, you have the title. If you have edition, you can put down second edition, third edition. All right. The only different American Psychological Association would be the publisher, and then the only difference for ebook would be the DOI or the URL over there. Okay, so you put it down for print or electronic book. Okay, next one, ladies and gentlemen, will be for journal article. I know for a matter of fact, when we are doing our academic work, many of us will be using journal article, isn't it? Article from a journal. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, for in-text citation, as you can see, very much easy, name and date. Name and date. This one is for parenthetical citation. This one is for narrative citation. But when it comes to the what we call end text citation or reference, the end of it, yeah. So we have the name, the full name. All right. So you see the difference will be for the in-text citation, Grady et al. Because there's more than two, what we call more than two authors over here. But in the reference list, the end-text citation, you list them all, ladies and gentlemen. And then the year, this one will be the title of the article, This one will be the title of the journal, right? So this is an article that is published in a journal, all right? Issue number 2007-2017 would be, excuse me, the page number, DOI over there, the DOI over there. For, if not mistaken, 6th edition, you're supposed to put down PP, page, if not mistaken, yeah, page number 207217. But now, no need for you to put down the P or PP over here, just put down the number over here, all right? So, like I said before, at the very beginning of my talk, ladies and gentlemen, that's why it is important for us to understand how to do this, the basics. Because if you were to generate this using AI or technology, it comes out such as this. You wouldn't understand what is this, what is this, what is this, what is this number, what is this 2007 and all. All right. So please make sure you know how to read this so that it will be easy for you. Hey, this is even important for you when you are searching for references. You read other people's work and then you take a look at their reference list. And then you see that, oh, this Grady has come up with a study and journal article over here. Where can I find the article? You take a look at the reference list and then you see that, oh, there's a DOI number. You search the DOI number on the internet, you will find the article produced by Grady et al. 2019. So that's how you find your references, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Magazine articles, all right. Back in the days, during my days at least, we have physical or printed articles. Nowadays, no more, right? But then again, there are online magazines, all right, that you can read nowadays. So, let's just say you found an article in a magazine, you think it's important for your work, all right, credible enough, so you can use it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, in-text citation is just the same. Name, year. Name and year. Any questions so far? Oh, all right, the attendance link. Okay, and this one will be for the reference list. We have the name. You see over here, for magazine, full date, year, month, and day. Year, month, and day. Okay, and then the title, and then the name of the magazine, and then issue number, and then the number of magazine, the issue of the magazine over there. Okay, this one, if you have the page number, you can put on as such. If not, you can just omit it, no problem over there. Okay, good. Showman, Superfans, A Love Story, The New Yorker, that one will be the name of the magazine. That one will be the what we call URL of it. Okay, so this one, the second one, and the third one will be an online magazine. Example for this one, Lyons 2009. This one, I think this will be the printed version of the article, right? But nowadays, we hardly find any magazines, yeah, in bookstores, right? Newspaper article. The same with magazine, ladies and gentlemen. Back in the days, this was very popular. People read newspaper every day. People cite from newspaper articles. But nowadays, everything has turned to what we call online newspaper article, right? So if you have found something from credible sources, yeah, something from Bernama, something from maybe The Star, you can use newspaper article like this one from New York Times over here. The name, the date, the title. The New York Times will be the name of the newspaper. And then this will be the URL, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. The in-text citation still the same. Name and year, not much of a difference. Yeah. So, last one. I think this will be the last one. Oh, another one. Okay. So web page on the website. This one is also quite popular among my students. When they search on the internet, they found an article on the website. So we call it as web page on a website. So on the website, yeah, you search and then you click on the link, you go to a website. On the website, there's an article, there's web page over there, there's information over there, this table, there is a figure, numbers, and whatnot, right? So you may use it if it has credibility for your academic work, right? So you see in-text citation, very much the same. Bologna 2019, Woodyard 2019. All right, for the in-text citation, it will be something like this. All right, the name, the date, title, the name of the web page, and then the URL, and then the URL, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. In the past, for 6, if not mistaken, you need to put down the date of the retrieval of the article on the web page. We write it down as retrieve on, and then the date where we found or retrieved the article, and then from the URL. Okay, now no more. They just ask you to put down the URL over there. All right. That one will be web page on the website, and then this one. Web page on the website with an organization group as author. We talked about this before, isn't it? Yeah. Sometimes the name of the author is not an individual name, but a group, organization, institute. Yeah. So, for instance, you can use World Health Organization over here. World Health Organization. The abbreviation will be what, everyone? WHO. WHO. So if you want to use the WHO, you can, but introduce it first before you use the WHO. But in your end text citation, make sure you put it in full like this one: name, date, the name of the article that you found on the web page, and then this one will be the what we call URL. If you can see, there's no name of the website over here. Why? Because the name of the website has been put over here, WHO. As compared to this, you must put down name of the web page, CNN, for instance. But this one, the name of the page is used as the name of the author. All right. One last thing before I move forward, ladies and gentlemen, is that I would like for you to realize that when it comes to APA, for each of the section means name, date, title, right, and all the other information, they are separated by a full stop over there, right? A full stop over there. So name, you can see name, and then at the end, full stop. And then date, full stop. Title, full stop. So that's another feature of what we call APA 7th edition. So if you were to check your citation, your reference list, especially, take a look at that one. Does every part of the citation ends with a full stop? If not, put down a full stop over there. Right? Okay. Time for another writing quiz, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we have in academic writing, in talking about references, we have primary, we have secondary source. So what do you know about secondary source? What is a secondary source? Is it A, is it B, is it C, or is it D? Right? Put down your response over there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how many of you are still with me at this hour. What is the time now? Oh, I have about 15 minutes more. Maybe I need to be a bit fast. Anyone? Is it A? Is it B, C, or D? Or A? All right, Shamimi. Nurul Shamimi says A. Thank you. Anyone else? Can I have at least C? Past study on the topic. Okay. Amirah Liz Soleha says C. A. Aliana say A. Maybe just one or two more. Anybody? Oh, di Mojang say A. Right. Hanania also say A. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, correct. Basically, secondary source will be a content first reported in another source, meaning to say that it is not the primary source. Primary source is like, for instance, article in a journal. So the scientists, they conduct the experiment, they found something, they found findings, they report it, yeah, in a journal article, then they publish it. That one will be primary source. But for secondary source, let's just say it's a newspaper, a journalist, they found the research article, they take a look at the number, they put it down in their newspaper article, then they publish in the newspaper. So that one is what we call the secondary source, ladies and gentlemen. So in scholarly work, a primary source reports original content, all right? The original one from the original author, from the one who do all the works. But for secondary source refers to a content first reported in another source, right? Like for instance, magazine article, like for instance, a newspaper article, that one is what we call the secondary source. So cite secondary source sparingly, for instance, when original work is out of print, unavailable, available only in a language that you do not understand. So what I'm trying to say here is that in doing your academic writing, try to find primary source rather than secondary source, ladies and gentlemen, because primary source will be the mean reference. The same like APA. The primary source will be the publication manual. But secondary source will be when people have adapted it, like my slides over here. I took it from the publication manual over there, then my slide will become a secondary source. The original or primary source will always be the publication manual. Why? Because it is from APA. All right? Clear. So for secondary source, ladies and gentlemen, in writing it, you must put it as such as cited in. What does it mean over here, ladies and gentlemen? What does it mean? It means that you have the work of the later name over here. You have the book of Leon. Yeah, that is published in 2014. When you read the book of Leon et al. Over here, you found the work of Rabbit. Rabbit, okay? But you couldn't find Rabbit's work anywhere. You search on the internet, you couldn't find it. You search your library, you couldn't find it. So what you can do is you can cite your secondary source by writing Rabbit 1982 as cited in Leon 2014. Meaning to say that you got the information from Rabbit from Leon, okay? You have the book written by Leon et al. In the book, there's information by Rabbit. Okay, this is what we call the secondary source. The same goes to Leon 2020, cited in Ian 2023. Okay, so basically you have the work of Ian, you have the article by Ian, you have the book by Ian, you have the article by Ian. In the book, you found the information, okay, by Leon. Maybe Leon conducted some experiment in 2020, right? So Ian reported it. So you write as such, Leon as cited in Ian 2023. Okay, so that is secondary source, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, just a little bit on paraphrasing, yeah. Um, when it comes to writing your citation, of course, you must paraphrase, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot simply take other people's work and put it in your work. It is a crime, ladies and gentlemen. That is very, very wrong. Please don't do that. Okay, we don't want this to happen in the academic community. Okay, please learn about plagiarism. Please learn about paraphrasing, because when it comes to such issue, ladies and gentlemen, ignorance is not a bliss. Meaning to say that you must what we call learned about it. Okay, whether your lecturer, your tutor tell you about this or not, you as a student especially, you must learn about this. Yeah, in my university, in UITM, we have one handbook for students on plagiarism. I always encourage my students to download it and read it, because it is their duty to understand what is plagiarism. Because sometimes students, when they are caught plagiarizing, ladies and gentlemen, they can simply say, oh, I do not know, for instance. Yeah, saya tidak tahu, for instance. So you cannot simply say that, ladies and gentlemen, because sources are everywhere, information is everywhere. So please learn it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so paraphrasing basically to put other people's idea, other people's work using your own word. And of course, you must use citation. Okay, so with paraphrasing, you can summarize, you can synthesize. Summarize means you can shorten things up. Let's just say you read an article of 5 paragraph long. You summarize it by only writing it in 1 paragraph summary. Synthesize means you combine other people's work. You have article 1, you have article number 2. You try to combine those two together. That is what we call synthesizing. Okay, so synthesizing also can be achieved by doing paraphrasing. Okay, how to do paraphrasing, everybody? You read the original passage, you set aside the original and write your paraphrase on a note. Okay, I always tell this to my students in writing paraphrasing. Yeah, do not have the original work in front of you, right? Where you can see, because you will tend to copy it. You read the book or you read the article first. Once it's done, close it, put it away, and then you try to read based on what you understand from the original work. That's how you do the paraphrasing, okay? And doing the paraphrasing, there are many technique and skills, ladies and gentlemen. One of it will be to use synonyms. You change the word with similar, different word with similar meanings, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Harry was famished, for instance. Harry was hungry. Famished, hungry. it means the same, isn't it? Yeah. You use different word forms. For instance, you change adjectives to adverbs. All right. You use different phrase. You use different sentence structure from active to passive voice, passive to active voice. Okay. You put the what we call subject in front, you put the subject at the back, you change it, yeah, so that the structure will be different. Okay, so these will be some skills in paraphrasing that you as a students or academic need to master, because in writing your academic writing, yeah, you're using references. Of course, you need to paraphrase other people's work. You cannot simply take everything and put it down in your own work. I would like to emphasize that please make sure that you don't just use one technique or one skill, because sometimes my students they try to be clever. When I ask them to paraphrase, they just change one word. Harry was so hungry that he hurriedly ate 2 big plates of fried rice. So they see the word hungry, they just change hungry to famish, and then they think that that is paraphrasing. No, by only changing one word, that is not paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is to putting down other people's work using your own words. Okay, please be careful, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so example of it will be this one. Sorry, what is that? Okay, Dr. Kuan said you may type your question. If you have any question, just put it down over there in the chat box. Okay, you can straightly ask me. Okay, paraphrasing the original passage. This one would be the paraphrase sentence. As you can see over here, this passage is taken from this one. And then when you want to paraphrase it, you want to report it, you want to use it in your work, of course, you need to do the citation. Okay, so can we skip this for a while? This writing quiz. Yeah. Okay. The next one that I would like to talk about will be quoting. Quote. Yeah, to quote. Like I said before, you can quote other people's work. Let's say the phrase is too powerful, you don't want to change it. You can quote, okay? But please make sure that you do it correctly with citation. Example of it will be this one, everybody. Yeah. Please make sure that when you use citation, yeah, you only use a narrow segment of the source, not every sentence, not the entire paragraph that you quote, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So you have this quote unquote symbol over here, okay, to show that this is taken directly from the original source, and then you put down your citation over there. Okay, so this is the ethical way to do quoting, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you put it in what we call the quote unquote symbol over there, and then you put down the citation. Okay, quote. Yes, you may do so, but only for a very powerful sentence phrase that you could not change it, yeah, because you think that that is very significant to your work. You put it down in your own work as such, quoting, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Okay, lastly for today will be reference list, ladies and gentlemen. After you are done with writing your essay with all your in-text citation, at the end of the day, you need to have your reference list, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, APA style papers generally include, or you couldn't see the D and E over here, reference list, not bibliographies. Okay, the title of it will be references, not bibliographies, not works cited. Works cited is for MLA, if not mistaken. Bibliography will be for some other style. For APA, references. Okay. What is needed over there, ladies and gentlemen? The name of the author as appear in your essay, the date, the title, the source. Okay. We have take a look at book, e-book, journal from article. All right. What else? Magazine and as well as newspaper, the most famous references over there. So for the sources, they are different. You know, for book, you need to put down the title, you need to put down the name of publisher. For journal article, you need to put the issue number, the DOI or the URL. Okay, so different. So for this one, ladies and gentlemen, it's okay if you couldn't really get it at the back of your head. You can always refer to APA websites on how to write it down. Yeah. So this will be the example. This will be for the names. Okay. This will be for the date. This will be for the sources. And all in all, your reference list is supposed to look like this. It comes with formatting, ladies and gentlemen, references. The title is supposed to be in the middle. And as you can see, it is arranged in alphabetical order A until Z. Okay, so it doesn't matter if the name Abasi appears towards the end of your essay, but if it starts with A, it's supposed to be at the first one. All right, so A, B, C up until Z, alphabetical order. And another feature of the reference list for APA will be hanging indent. What does it mean? It means that, ladies and gentlemen, the first line will always start from the very left, like this one. But the second and subsequent line is supposed to be indented to the right, indented to the right. That is the feature of APA reference list. Double line space, yep, you also need to have this double line space over here for APA. And another thing that I would like to add would be for APA reference list, you don't have to put down the number on it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no. Right, it is supposed to be like this, no problem. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, if you were to put number, if your generator put down numbers for you, totally, you know it is wrong. You need to edit it, ladies and gentlemen, yeah. Another thing I would like to emphasize is that whatever name that you have over here, Abasi, Abu Rukab, Crash, Henderson, make sure this name appears in your essay. Whatever appears in your essay should appear in your references as well. You cannot have the name Anderson down here, but on top you use some other name. You use Wayland, for instance. Right? So, I think that will be the end of it. Okay, let's see. Dr. Kulon, I think we can have a little bit of Q&A session, yeah? The question in the chat box, when it comes to Malay
Yes.
names, how to cite them? Let's say Muhammad Ali bin Abu, the reference will be Muhammad Ali or Abu or include both. Okay, this is a very tricky question to be answered. Afiq Daniel, this is because, like I said before, different universities, they have a slightly different way to do this APA citation, especially when it comes to Malay names or Muslims names. All right. APA doesn't really specifically put down examples of names of all the people around the world. So I always, for my style, my own style, the one that I refer to will be the UM guide and then the UITM guide. For Malay name, I always use their full name and I omit the bin and binti over there. Muhammad Ali bin Abu. But for some institution, they use what has been outlined by APA, which is to use the surname or the last name. So in such case, it will be Abu. And then when you put down the end-text citation, it will be Abu M.A. So those will be the differences of it. Yeah. So the best thing to do is this one. Yeah. You ask the university, especially the library, on how to cite such names, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, because at the end of the day, they will be the one who will, what we say, examine your work. All right. So we try to follow our best the guidelines that has been set to us. Okay. I'm not saying that there's one way to do it, but there are maybe differences a little bit. Yeah, some use the full name, some use the last name. Yeah, in such case it will be Abu over there. Okay, so I guess for Afiq Daniel, it's best for you to check maybe with your lecturer, or you can also ask your librarian over there. All right, hopefully they can answer your question for such. Okay, thank you for the question over there. Anything else?
Okay. Thank you for your question, and Afiq Daniel. Any more question?
Or question to Dr. Jeba?
Any question for Dr. Jeba or Dr. Izzat? Okay, there's another question here.
What are the differences?
What are the differences between reference list and bibliography? I thought it's the same thing. Can you explain?
What are the differences between reference and bibliography? I thought it's the same thing. Can you explain? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they are the same thing. But for APA style, like I said before, we use reference. The title on top of it, we use reference. You see, like for instance, if you are using Microsoft Words, yeah, you're using their generator, you will have options whether you want it to be title reference, bibliography, works cited. All those will be different styles, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, but if you say that you want to use APA 7, make sure that it is supposed to be titled references, not works cited, not bibliography, not any other title over there, because those will be four different style. I'm not saying they are wrong, but they are different style. Okay, APA, it will be references. This screenshot that I have on my slide will be, I took it from the APA website. Okay.
Okay, right. Thank you for the question. Any more? One last question, perhaps? Okay, so if you have no question, thank you very much, Dr. Jeba and Dr. Izzat. Okay, we have come to the end of our workshop today. We are so grateful to our speakers for their insightful presentations. This was so informative and helpful. I'm sure we've all gained a lot from their presentations. Thank you to our presenters, and thank you everyone for attending this session. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Kawan. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.